Hey guys, welcome back to another Tying Tuesday. My name is Max and today we're going to be tying the Dirty Damsel. We're going to be using the 718 fire hole in a size 12. Some strung marabou blood quills in olive, hare's ear plus dubbin in olive, the polar ice stub peacock in black, the loco legs by hairline in olive, some brassy size gold wire, and the dumbbell bead chain eyes in black by hairline. We're going to be using a 140 ultra thread in olive and a little bit of crystal flash in pearl. I'm going to start off just making some thread wraps, going back to the curve of the hook. Once I get back to around where that barb would be, go ahead and snip out my tying thread. So I'm going to measure out my marabou. Got this one already trimmed up. I'm going to measure it about half the length of the hook shank. So this one's already nice and trimmed up. So go ahead and tie that in there. Make a couple loose wraps. And then I can kind of adjust it and move it where I want. So I'm going to slide it up a little bit. Kind of got it where I want. I can make another couple tight wraps. Thread up to just shy of where I'm going to stop the thorax. Go ahead and trim out my marabou. Kind of clean up my wraps. Work that thread back down to put in my crystal flash. Crystal flash, same thing. I want it just shy of the tips of the marabou. So I'll kind of do one side at a time. Couple wraps. Bring this over. Tie it in on the other side. So once I got my crystal flash in there, take my tying thread back up to the front, and I like to tie my dumbbell eyes in now because if I do it prior, it kind of gets in the way of me tying in marabou and gets caught up in it, so I just kind of add it in after and leave some space on the hook shank. So I'm going to do some figure 8 wraps, secure it on there, leaving some room up front so I can whip finish and make it look clean at the end. Figure 8 wraps, secure it down in there. Lateral wraps. So I'm going to work my thread to the back. Now I'm going to add in my wire. So with my wire, I'm going to put it about the length of the thorax. Tie that down in there tight and work it all the way back to where my marabou starts. Once I get the wire tied in there, I'm going to take my hare's ear dub. I'm just going to make a little noodle on my tying thread, and I like this hare's ear plus because it looks super buggy. It's got a lot of loose fibers in there. When you are dubbing the noodle on the thread, I want to try and get it so it starts kind of slim at the beginning and builds up so you got a little bit of a taper. So I'll probably have to go back through and kind of fix it a little bit. But most part, you kind of want to start slim and build up to a little bit thicker body to where we're going to throw in that ice stub. Sometimes with the hare's ear stuff, it kind of, you get balls or patches of small fibers that are kind of stuck together. Do your best to kind of pick those out as you make your noodle on the so I got a little bit of a taper. The abdomen section will be like fairly thick with the polar dub, so can kind of build into that. Once I make my wraps with the wire here, it's going to kind of press the material down, so you can kind of leave it fat to start and it'll kind of slim itself out, and we'll pick it out at the end to kind of make it look a little more buggy. Take my wire, I'm going to make wraps, segment the body a little bit up to the front of the hook. I can tie off my wire. And helicopter it out of there. Take my loco leg material, and I'm going to cut that one long strip in half, and I'm going to tie on just right even with the dubbing I just threw on there. So when you're using these legs and stuff, like to make some loose wraps, and then you can kind of pull on it and it'll tighten it down and make the legs flare out a little bit more. Because we want to be able to make a wrap behind the legs, over the thread wraps on the legs, and then in front of the legs to work up to the eyes. One side in there. My other side. A couple loose wraps. Then I'm going to pull my legs forward and make a wrap or two behind. Now I'm going to make another dubbing noodle with my polar ice stub peacock in black. And same thing, a little bit of a taper, but we're going to make the body section a little bit fatter. So I slide it back up to the top. Those legs gathered forward, make a wrap or two behind. And add a little bit more dubbing. This one can be a little bit thicker. Now I'm going to go right in the middle, kind of parting those two pieces. I'm going to make a couple wraps in front with another dubbing noodle. So I'll finish the fly off by kind of covering up the bead chain by also making another little noodle and doing kind of a crisscross or figure 8 wrap over the eyes. And finish my thread right behind the eye of the hook. Now I can whip finish my fly, and then I'll trim out the legs, and I want to make the legs fairly short. But you can trim them to length that you want to make it look a little more buggy or swim a little bit more in the water. So when I trim them, I just kind of make sure that they're even on both sides, and I'll go about the length of the body. Now you can go through with your dubbing brush, kind of pluck out some of those fibers. The dirty damsel. This pattern is great for stillwater fishing. Sometimes I'll throw a little bit of a flashback on it with some Flashaboo or even Crystal Flash. When I'm fishing it, I like to fish it on a sinking line or a sink tip, preferably a sink tip, over weed beds with like a slow retrieve, so it kind of looks like the bug is moving slowly up to the surface, and you'll get hit pretty hard, so hold on tight. If you liked the video, make sure to give us a thumbs up and add a comment down below. For more fly fishing and outdoor related videos, subscribe to the AvidMax YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you out there.